Hello and welcome to Reflections. I'm Rom Gayoso, your host. Today, our topic is the upcoming Ingomu Be More Days event. How to accomplish your goals in the new year, conversations around life, soul, wellness, and work. My guest today is a Wynant from Be More with Ingomu and the Ingomu app. So please stay tuned. This show is broadcast live via YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And remember, if you're watching this show via Futures Television, the home of the future on television, or listening to the show via Radio Futures, the wave of the future on the radio, you too can be part of the conversation. Please join us in our YouTube channel, and that is IMCI Magazine, where we continue to chat about the topic of the day. So let's get going. So again, my guest today is a Wynant from Ingomu. So let me say a few words about Ingomu. So you can listen to Wynant and the Be More with Ingomu Coaches daily at 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. Pacific via Radio Futures. You can listen to the shows free using our media player, which can be found at www.radiofutures.com. So if you're driving to and from work, now you have a good option to invest your time. Well, without further ado, let's welcome all to the show. How are you doing today?
Hi, Rom. I'm great. How about yourself?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your being here with me and the audience today. We're going to talk about the Be More Days, the upcoming Be More Days, right?
We are, and I'm super excited. Thank you for having me here this morning.
Okay, well, let's start from the beginning. Let's talk about your vision for Ingomo. You put together an awesome collection of thought leaders and coaches who make a positive impact on the lives of the people they serve. What motivated you to start Ingomo?
What's interesting to me, so I've always wanted to help people. So I'm sort of the guy who sees a lost puppy and I want to adopt it, or I see a homeless person and I want to help. So I've been looking for a while to sort of help and make a difference in the world, but also make it scalable. And so one day we're sitting in a coffee shop in Boulder, and this idea of Ingomu came to us. Because I'm just very, very strong believer in coaching and what a difference that can make in a person's life. But coaching isn't necessarily something that is attainable for most people because it's expensive. And so how do we, how we were thinking, how do we make coaches available to individuals where it's affordable, scalable, equitable, etc. And also, people in general need more than one coach when they're working on something. So how do you make multiple coaches available? So that's the idea that was sparked one day as we were sitting in that coffee shop in Boulder. So we built out this app, this technology where our users have access to all of these different coaches to work on whatever issue they're working on, whatever issue that's keeping them up at night. So they can get on the app and they can work with a coach in live, group sessions, virtual group sessions. So that's in essence. So it really sort of has brought me to, my personal goal, has always been helping people and helping as many people as possible. So this app really ties my personal mission to the company's missions, which have become one in essence. So I believe we're making a significant positive impact on the world by helping all these people by giving them access to coaching. So that's long story short.
No, let's stay on that line a little longer. So we just celebrated Mental Health Week and Suicide Prevention Week. So in your view, what's the importance of asking for help, or at least looking for a coach who can help one improve one's life skills? In other words, what's the benefit of a good coach?
That's how much time do you have? So I mean, everyone. So I put it sort of in a perspective of everyone lays awake of something at night. And so it could be personal stuff, it could be work related stuff, it could be health stuff, it could be matters of the soul, whatever they may be. And if you're not familiar with coaching, you know how it feels when you go to a friend and this trusted friend, you can talk to them and they will listen and they will give you some feedback. Just imagine now not going to a friend but to somebody who actually is trained and has experience, listening to you and also making you think through these processes. So having a person like that to talk to, a coach, is amazing. It really makes you think. It's not therapy. It's not diagnostic. It's really somebody who makes you think and work through the issues that you're dealing with, and you really come out of it on the other side. It's if you're dealing with, especially right now, the work world has changed, how we work has changed. With inflation, everything else, there's anxiety, there's stress. Just having the resources available to you to overcome those things, or at least work on those things, is amazing. It makes you more engaged. It makes you more, relaxed, more productive, etc. So there's so many different things it does for you. And excuse me, with coaches too, is, as I said earlier, most people are dealing with more than one issue. And so having access to multiple different coaches who can help you when you need it is just a beautiful thing. The benefits of it, if you're looking, we've looked at some numbers, and the International Coaching Federation has done some great studies on that too. Is people become, as they're being coached, they become more engaged, they become more productive, they become more, their relationships are better, they become better communicators. So many different positive sides to that. It's quite amazing.
No, I can clearly see the positives, and that's the reason why I ask. So let's change subjects a little bit. So let's talk about the upcoming Ingomu Be More Day. So the theme for this year is how to accomplish your goals in the new year. It's already 2023. So why did you select this theme?
So we do these things about twice a year. And so we always look for a topic that's important. And so this thing being in December and close to the end of the year, everyone is always, thinking of making New Year's resolutions. And so why we picked this specific theme is, yes, there is those New Year's resolutions, but let's look a little bit more long term. What positive difference, what positive change do you want to bring into your life around the topics of life, soul, wellness, and your work, and really coach on techniques, on mindset, etc. So it's not just a little piece of paper. You write, I want to lose 20 pounds and I'm going to walk 10,000 steps a day or something, whatever that may be, whatever your New Year's resolution may be. It's really meaningfully look at these 4 areas of the human being and put some processes and put some thinking in place through the conversations we're going to have to meaningfully kick off so to leave the past behind and kick off the new year with a great mindset, with a great attitude, so you can be successful in 2023.
Wonderful. So a couple of things. So there are basically 4 topics: the roundtables, life, soul, wellness, and work. So let's talk a little bit about them. So the main topics. So what's going to be discussed in life?
So life is sort of an interesting thing. As we look at coaching holistically, so there's life, soul, wellness, and work. So in the life category, we're really going to be having a panel discussion with a couple of coaches and looking at personal things, looking at relationships. How are those, how can you have great relationships? How can you work on issues with your family and communicating with your children? How can you have, if you're dating out there, if you're dealing with grief, all of these different things we're going to be talking about. So I think we're having a little bit of a sound issue. I'm trying to adjust my mic here. I hope that's better, Ram. If not, I may have to switch to a different microphone. Let me know. So basically in the live, we're going to have a great panel discussion on the issues of life and how you can plan for that in the new year. So we have some great coaches we're going to bring around the table there, talking about relationships, talking about family dynamics, talking about conflict, etc. So that will be a great conversation in that particular panel discussions. And you'll be able to, the guests who attend will be able to, submit questions in advance or ask questions during the session of the coaches. So it'll be very interactive as well. So you're not getting a lecture, so to speak. So we're going to make it as much as coaching as we can in the time we have for that.
So what about the Soul Roundtable? What's going to be the topic there?
Oh, that's a fun one. So I think many people, when they think about soul, they're kind of go, huh? What is that? What does that really mean? And some people think of soul sort of around mindfulness. And so what's going on in your head, so to speak. We look at soul very broadly. So we're in that particular conversation, we're going to be talking about how the mind, body, soul, how that all hangs together, how mindset works. So we'll be looking at all of that. And it's a fascinating, so it's not religion. It is really soul, and that means something different for everybody. So we have some fun coaches here and very talented coaches who we're going to bring in and talking about visualization. We're going to talk about the mind, body, spirit connection and all of those sort of things. So a very deep coaching conversation we will be having, and we encourage you as well here to obviously bring your questions and have a conversation on that. So that's a very developing coaching category, I think, and it's something that people are, what is the meaning of life? Sort of that sort of stuff people are looking into and can use some coaching on. So that is going to be just an incredibly fun conversation as well. So I participate myself in a few of those coaching communities on our app, and it's quite fascinating.
What about the Wellness Roundtable? What's the main idea there?
I think in that particular session, so at the end of the year, we always get ready for, I want to lose weight, I want to do this, I want to do that, this whole mindset of weight loss and not overeating at the holidays. And we'll probably touch on that a little bit. But we're really going to delve into how can you make healthy lifestyle choices. What does that look like for everybody around food, around exercise, around potentially diabetes and another area. So we'll take a deep dive into that particular category. So that's instead of mind, although we'll deal with a little bit of stress and anxiety as well, but it's really looking at the body and what things you can do to live potentially a healthier lifestyle going forward, and the little things you can do in your specific life that are going to help you with that as well, make you think through that on how you can how the participants can make those meaningful changes in what they are doing in the new year. So it's going to be, again, it's like I said earlier, it's not the New Year's resolution type conversation. It's really a coaching session on, what changes can you make in yourself to live a healthier lifestyle moving forward, and maybe learning some new trends and some techniques as well as part of that conversation. So that's going to be a good session as well.
Well, the fourth roundtable is work. So why work, and what you're going to discuss there?
Work is an interesting animal, so to speak, in this context. Here in this particular sessions, we're going to look at some of the trends going on right now, because we've all heard of quiet quitting and all of those other things happening right now. So we're going to talk a little bit from the employee's perspective and the leadership's perspective on how you can do better with your employees, and how you, as an employee, you can show up engaged, you can be productive, etc. Where the employers, how do you care about your employees, how you do that, and different conversations around that, where we can also in the new year have a really good partnership, because there's so many issues that companies are facing right now, as I said before, around retention and engagement and productivity and absenteeism and so on. So we're really going to address those issues and what both sides can do to overcome those issues, so to speak. But all four of those categories really holistically hang together, because if you're not well, if you have anxiety, if you have stress, or you're having issues with your family, if those can all affect how you show up at work. So we want to make sure that we address all four of those, as part of this particular conference the Be More days coming up.
Yeah, so let's continue a little bit on that specific trend. The holistic person as you described. So, and you're talking about work. So, let's talk a little bit longer about this. So, what is the impact on businesses when people really are not well? There's unscheduled absenteeism, and quiet quitting, anxiety, stress, lack of engagement at the workplace. So, when the person is not well, what's the impact to the business?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, and I'm going to take a peek at my other screen here for some numbers. But when you look at unscheduled absenteeism, so people, if they're dealing with issues around, stress, anxiety, for whatever reason that may be, around issues around wellness, and so on. So it causes, unscheduled absenteeism. People just don't show up for work, call in sick, etc. So that can cost an employer anywhere from $2,700 to $3,600 per year per employee. That's a big chunk of money. So if you're looking at that, I did a quick calculation here. If you're looking at a company with about 250 employees, just the cost of absenteeism is over $850,000 just for that, and that's quite a staggering number. And then you have to calculate turnover in that as well. And how does that impact your productivity? So if you are not feeling well as an employee, anxiety, stress, et cetera, you're not going to show up for your job. You may be there, but you may not show up for the job. And so that is going to really impact productivity. That is going to impact how you engage with the company, with your team members, with your leadership, et cetera. It's going to impact so many different things of that. And, when we're looking here, this is a study that was not quite recently released by Gallup, where it shows that only 21% of employees are engaged at work. And only 33% of employees are like thriving in overall well-being. Those are staggeringly low numbers, and all of that really is impacting how businesses operate. I mean, there's a number that they put in that study. The global impact on the economy for those reasons is $7.8 trillion in lost productivity.
So let's be clear here. You're not just talking about some feel good kind of thing. You're really talking about business impact that can be quantifiable. So when the whole person is not well, everything suffers. So there is a business case for people to engage with coaching, for people,
Yes.
to seek help, and for businesses to invest in this kind of tool. Because let's face it, if employees are not engaged, or if they're quiet quitting, or they are loud and they're not interested in the work proper, the work will suffer, isn't it? So that's the real business case. This is not about feel goody, kind of thing. It's about real business.
Yeah. So I mean, I was, as we talk about what we do, is as a company, you're going to provide health insurance. You're going to provide some services through an EPA, and you may provide some training, obviously, for your employees. But the stuff that really impacts your employees isn't traditionally something the company will take care of. But it's something that impacts the company. If you don't take care of it, it impacts the company significantly. Because if one of your employees is going through a divorce, or somebody has passed away, or they can't communicate with their children, or they have a spouse who suffers from a disease or has cancer, those are all things that a coach can help with. But if there's no help, that is going to impact, again, that engagement, productivity, absenteeism, et cetera, at the company. So you can very clearly run a calculator and say, this is the average cost of absenteeism. This is the average cost of, replacing an employee. It's a huge cost, et cetera, et cetera. So you can put dollars on it if they don't. So take care of it. So you, as an employer, and so many, if you look at employees right now, it's like, why are you like that? Why is this happening? It's like, because the employer doesn't care about me. They don't listen to me. They don't provide the resources. And it is so simple, in essence, as an employer, to show that you care. Yes, maybe that sounds a little woo-woo and soft and so on, but it's not. It's you're providing meaningful resources to your employees who can then show up at work and impact your bottom line. Because as a business, that's what it comes down to. It's that bottom line. And so it is so vitally important that you do that as a business.
Yeah, and so one thing is, be willing to ask for help, and the other one is, finding help, and then the other one is affording help. So Ingomu is switching the paradigm of coaching from one-on-one, so from expensive and hard to find to accessible. You can find a coach through the app, can you not? So now it's accessible, holistic, equitable. So what drove this change?
Well, as I mentioned in the beginning, my personal mission of helping as many people as possible, making a positive impact. So, and being a strong believer in coaching. So that's the big picture. Traditionally, and still, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's very valid. Coaching is a one-on-one relationship where you engage with a coach for a set number of hours or a period, and it is high cost. Anywhere, depending on what you're being coached on, it could be $50 an hour to $500 an hour. So, if you need 10 hours of coaching, you know what that price tag looks like. And it is not necessarily attainable for everyone, but everyone can benefit from coaching. So traditionally, it's been one-on-one in a company setting. It's been one-on-one in C-suite. So, but C-suite is a small part of a company, of a whole company. So how do you change that whole paradigm and make coaching accessible to everyone, from the person at the front desk to the maintenance people to the C-suite, so everyone has access to it? And then at the same time, also not have access to one coach, but have access to 50 different coaching communities. So the only way you can do that is by making coaching scalable. So there's many solutions out there that provide, an app, and you can do one-on-one coaching. So the traditional model. And then you have our model where we run coaching in virtual live group settings. So you're still having a live coach, but it's in a virtual setting and it's in group. So you can also then benefit not just from the coach, but you can benefit from the group experience. Because as you were saying earlier, asking for help is sometimes hard. But if you're in a group setting and it's private, nobody knows who you are, you're just there in a group with other people, you can ask the coach questions. The coach can ask you questions. You can engage between sessions as well. And so we make that, because it's in group setting, you can scale it and you can make it very affordable. So it is accessible. You can look at two different ways. Do you make this available to your employees who are somewhat higher at risk for issues, or do you give it to everyone? So there's an insane benefit, when you do the cost analysis of employing the app versus the unscheduled absenteeism and the retention issues and replacing employees. It is so totally. It's like, why not in the big scheme of things?
Well, let's talk a little bit about the cost. So the conference is free, is it not? So in the links to this video, you're gonna find a specific link to the Be More Days. So let's talk a little bit of how can I. So here's the site. So how can I access the conference? How do I register? And walk me through it.
So it's very easy. Go to bemoredays.com and you'll land on this lovely page, and you can just put in your email address, first and last name, and then you will be registered for the conference. You will get an email with the logon details for the conference, and you'll get a reminder as well as it comes up. So that's the simple. It's free. And then we're also, for the first 100 registrants, we are giving them access for free for 3 months on the app, so you can play with it and benefit from coaching as well. So just sign up, go to bemoredays.com, and that is a free conference that we're running on December 8th from 8 a.m. to noon Pacific time. So, and there's a handy little, if you need to figure out if you're from other parts of the world or other parts of the country here, there's a handy little times converter on there, so you can click on that and see what that means in your time zone in the big scheme of things. And then as you mentioned, the app. So our app is very affordable. Once you get the app, you have access to every coach. There's over 100 live sessions a month that we have, And there's over 600 recorded sessions already on there as well. So if you miss a session, a live session, you can watch the recorded session of it and engage with the coach as well. And that's $29 a month for full access, or $290 for the year. And you can get it on the iPhone or the iOS or the Apple Store and the Android store. Oh, your sound is, you're on mute.
This looks like life, so wellness and work, all of it together.
It is. It's a great resource. I always say, maybe today you're dealing with one issue that at work, maybe you're having some difficult conversations, and then tomorrow you come home and and your 16-year-old kid comes to you and you go like, I have no idea how to talk to this kid, and there's a coach for that. So we always go, what keeps you up at night? We have it. We can help you with that. So there's usually, if you're having an issue that you're dealing with and you need a coach, we usually have a coach for that. So 24/7.
Okay, it seems we had a wonderful conversation today. You have to come back and tell us more. I'm looking forward to see the Be More days, and thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thank you, Ram. It was great being here, and thank you for sharing this with the audience.
Folks, we're really just scratching the surface here. We can certainly continue this conversation, but I'm afraid that is really all the time we have for today. So a little bit of upcoming events. We have a few conferences coming up. Of course, the Be More Days is one of them. And by the way, feel free to continue to submit your comments and questions on our YouTube page. I will make sure to read and present the guests, any other questions you might have. If you're listening to us via podcast or watching this show as a recording via Futures Television or listening to the show on Radio Futures, you can also be part of the conversation. Again, just visit our YouTube channel and leave a comment. And please don't forget to share and like this video. And please do subscribe to our channel. I am counting on you. All righty, it's time for us to say our goodbyes. Again, thank you so very much for being here with me. Thank you so much, Al, and thank you, the audience. Again, you can find us on the social media. It was lovely to see you guys today, and I hope to see you again in another edition of Reflections. I will leave you with our institutional message. Thank you.